You've been to our area and you fell in love with Miramar Beach, but you want to know how much can you get for $1 million? Stick around, this is the video for you.
I'd start with an overview of Miramar Beach in general. So for those of you that may not know, this is located right between Destin and the 30A area. So Miramar and Sandestin are actually kind of interlinked there, but we're only going to be talking about Miramar Beach in today's video. It is very close to the bay and of course the beach as well. So you've got two different water sources in case you want to get out on the water.
In either direction, to the south or to the north.
Yeah. Of course, you've got Highway 98 that runs right through it, just like most of our coastal towns, in fact, all of our coastal towns. So you've got quick access to go into Destin, to 38, to Panama City Beach, to Fort Walton, Pensacola, wherever you want to go, you've got very quick access. We're also very close to the bridge in case you need to head up north.
Miramar Beach is kind of interesting in the way that it is because it's almost like that gentle shift from Destin and then into 30A. We don't hear, not a lot of people are like, oh, Miramar Beach, you know, but a lot of people will be like, oh, well, Destin or 30A. And Miramar Beach is just kind of like that subtle transition between the two of them. So you get more beach, less busyness, you know, whereas, you know, Destin, you've got like all the busyness and a little bit less beach. Miramar Beach is that sort of transition into more beaches, a little bit higher class, if you will, some higher price points. Still, you have all the same accesses and activities that you could want, you know, either on the bay or on the Gulf. So if you want to go take some deep sea fishing charter, or if you want to go out on a pontoon boat or do some like parasailing. I keep seeing people do this and it scares me. I see you guys out there in the air and I'm like, I don't want anything to do with that, but I'll watch you do it.
It's actually pretty fun. You're missing out.
No, I'm good.
So Miramar Beach actually started out as a resort town and then always kind of kept that charm, but then added a little bit of single family homes, residences, and other places to live. So we're going to talk about those a little bit and give you guys kind of an overview of what the condos look like versus the single family homes. So depending on your goals, you can plan for it.
Now, as far as the actual numbers are concerned, the median prices that we've seen, last year it was a jump from about 600,000 to 800,000. But then just in the last 2 months, we've seen them going from 700,000 back up to 800,000. So pretty steep just in the past 2 months. So a lot of folks are wondering, you know, are prices going down? Not in Miramar Beach.
Yeah, and just because you're seeing those high prices or that big jump does not necessarily mean it is trending in that direction. There are a lot of different reasons that it could show that. You know, it could just be a number of higher priced properties happen to be sold in the last couple of months, and that's kind of skewing the numbers. It is a pretty steep jump from what we're seeing in the last 2 months. So that is what I am assuming is happening, but we won't know for a couple more months.
With those increases, we are seeing a little bit of a shift of what kind of percentage of the list price we're seeing properties actually sell for. Previously, we were seeing them at about 98%. So at about, you know, from whatever the list price was, they were selling at about 98% of that. Now we're seeing them come all the way down to about 93%. That might not seem like a huge jump, but if you're a seller, I'm sure you're feeling it.
And if you're a buyer, that's really good news for you because on, let's say, a $500,000 condo, that is another $25,000 in negotiating room that we are seeing on average. Some of them that are priced properly are going to see the price that they're asking for, while others that are priced a little bit more aggressively for what they are going to have a little bit more room for negotiation. So keep that in mind if you are considering moving down here.
Always talk to your real estate professional prior to submitting an offer and seeing where the property actually is when it comes to its list price versus what it should actually appraise for. They can run the numbers for you on a comparative market analysis. This won't be an official appraisal, but it'll give you a really good idea of roughly where that property is.
And speaking of that, let's do a shameless plug. We are real estate agents first, so if you have any questions whatsoever, all of our contact information will jump up on the screen. You can call, text, email, follow us on social, however you want to get a hold of us, and we can run those CMAs for you to make sure that you know that you are getting the right price for a property. And of course, you can always reach out to us to start the process. Now, talking about absorption rate, the absorption rate's gone from about 1.5 to about 3.5 months. Now, what that means is for 1.5 months of absorption rate that it would take 1.5 months for all the buyers to soak up every listing that sits there if no new listings came on board. So now that it's creeping up closer to 3.5 months, which is still considered a very heavy seller's market, but it is trending in a way that is showing a little bit more wiggle room with things, which is why you're seeing the list to price ratio jump up, as well as the days on market, which have gone from about 40 days all the way up to about 130 days currently as we're sitting right now.
It's really important to know these numbers, especially if you are considering purchasing or selling, because they're going to set your expectations. How much wiggle room do you have in negotiations? And also, how much time should you anticipate your property sitting on the market versus if you've seen a property sitting on the market for X number of days, what does that actually mean to you as the buyer? As far as what you can purchase for under $1 million, when it comes to condos, these are going to be about 80% of the sales that are done in Miramar Beach. And then for houses, those are going to make up that remaining 20%, obviously, because 80-20, 100%.
And the reason being is because you've got a lot more condos in one area. So even though about half of it is condos and about half of it is single family homes, the single family homes are taking up more real estate, no pun intended, while the condos are stacked on top of each other. So it's a lot, you can get a lot more in one small area. So that's the main reason there. The actual spread between the land is actually fairly similar on how much land is there for condos and how much is there for single family homes.
Just for round and like FYI numbers, just last year, the single family residents were going on average for about $660,000.
Now, the price ranges on these homes are going to start in the mid 300s and then kind of go up from there. Obviously, the lower end of that is going to be a smaller home, generally with maybe a little bit more work needed, whereas the higher end you go on that spectrum, the larger home you're going to get, the more amenities or what have you, better neighborhood, etc. So I want to talk about 3 of our favorite neighborhoods here in Miramar Beach, and there are tons of them. Miramar is one of the few areas in our area that have dedicated actual like neighborhoods that you go into and you know exactly what you're getting as you go throughout. So it's kind of interesting for us just to kind of see that because, well, as you head further west, you don't see that as much in our area. So for our entry-level neighborhood, I wanted to start with Bayside. If you were looking to get into Miramar Beach, to have that beach lifestyle that we all know and love, then Bayside is where it's at. So in the last year, they've sold from about $345,000 all the way up to about $600,000.
In this price range, you can expect to get a single-family house with about 2 to 3 bedrooms, ranging from, about 1993 to the 2000 time frame, and roughly from 1,700 square feet to 2,000 square feet as far as the size. In Bayside, there is an HOA. Some folks like them, some folks don't. If you want that access to a pool, but you don't want to take care of it, then an HOA is the way to go. And this one's only $80 a month, which is great because you get a pool, you get a dock for fishing, you get a clubhouse, tennis courts, you're super close to the beach, super close to restaurants, really close to a lot of different things in addition to the amenities that are right there on site.
And of course, that is right outside of Silver Sands outlets. So you've got a very short walk there, and there's a ridiculous amount of shopping and things to do in that area. But our next neighborhood is Holiday Shores, which will range in price from about $415,000 all the way up to about $820,000.
These houses are going to have, a little bit more room than, the previous Bayside neighborhood. You're going to have about 3 to 5 bedrooms, and your built timeline is going to be about 1983-ish to about 2015. And then the size of the property as far as square footage is going to be about 1,300 to 2,900 square feet. One of the great things about this neighborhood is that you're not going to have an HOA. So if you're one of those folks that you were really turned off by Bayside because you're like, I don't want somebody telling me what to do with my property and whether or not I can leave my garbage cans out by the road, then this one's the one for you because there is no HOA. But that also means you're not really going to have any amenities. However, you are very close to the beach at just 1.5 miles, and then you're also right there by the bay. So you've got a great drop-off point there if you want to go kayaking or take your paddleboard out. Really, really convenient location.
Next up is Emerald Bay, which is a great neighborhood that's going to start at about $585,000 and go all the way up to about $800,000.
This is going to be a little bit higher end of a neighborhood, and you're going to see about 3 to 4 bedroom places in this price range. And they're going to range in the time frame of being built from about 1992 to 2014, and their square footage is going to be about 1,800 all the way up to 3,400 square feet. That's kind of awesome, considering this price range. This price range isn't much higher than the previous ones that we discussed, and you can get that much more square footage. It's kind of awesome. I just had some clients reach out to me actually that were like, we have to have at least 2,700 square feet and we prefer to have closer to 3,000. And I was like, what do you do with all of that space? So much room for activities.
And speaking of great activities, the HOA is only about $200 plus here. It is ranging somewhere around $207 to $210. Of course, at the time of shooting this, HOAs change all the time, so don't shoot the messenger if it does. But the activities that are included with this HOA are tennis, pools, and of course, a beautiful 18-hole golf course. God, I love golf course communities.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say something about golfing.
I really only like it because when they're buying stuff, I could be like, hey, so when are we playing? And then it gets me out of the office for a day. So
it does, too. I mean, like, where's Mongo today? And then I see him up on social media with his selfies and like a golf stick. Oh, wait, they're clubs, aren't they?
I don't know.
Now, when it comes to condos, we're seeing about an average price of $600,000. So not so different, actually, from the single-family residences. However, you are going to have an HOA in every one of these. Keep that in mind.
So let's go ahead and start with Hidden Dunes, which is probably the easiest and least expensive way to get into Miramar Beach condos. Now, there may be other ones out there, but for the most part, this one kind of takes the cake on it.
It's really cool, too. I don't know if y'all have ever seen inside Hidden Dunes, but they're very, like, uniquely built units. They're just, are they octagons or?
I think so.
But they're like circular units, and they're very cool. And the way it's set up, just like if you were to look at an overview of it, it kind of looks like a bunch of like tiki huts almost, like all the way around you. Anyways, they're really cool. They've got tennis courts, they've got barbecue grills, plenty of, walking area. Just be very careful because the roads are just a little bit narrow, so cars are sharing the roads with you as you're walking, so kind of keep that in mind. Also, if you're a car, watch out for pedestrians.
Now, the prices here will range from about $375,000 all the way up to about $950,000.
These are going to come in 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom options for this price point.
The 1-bedroom condos here will be about 820 square feet and going all the way up to the 3 bedrooms at about 1,700 square feet. And the HOA is a little bit steep here. It's $1,800 to $3,400 per quarter. So divide that by 3 for your monthly.
So we talked about some of the amenities, but a lot of folks have been asking lately, are pets allowed? And yes, pets are allowed in this condo and it's gated. So double security there.
That is a really big question that we get asked all the time. People want to bring their pets on vacation with them, and not all condos allow it. And some of them allow it only for the owners and not for any of their guests. So should you decide to short-term rent a lot of these out, a lot of them will not allow your guests to have pets.
The next one we're going to talk about is aerial dunes. Now, these are going to range in price from about $425,000 to $775,000. Also, 1 to 3 bedroom options.
The square footage on these will be anywhere from 700 to 1,700 square feet, and the HOA on these wide rangely.
Range wide.
And the HOA ride ranges.
We ride it down.
We ride. And the HOA ranges from $450 to $950 per month.
This is another gated community. It's got the same, well, not the same, but it's got a clubhouse, it's got tennis, pickleball, a fitness facility. Pets are allowed again, and it's got a pool and a sauna. I only recently learned of the benefits of the sauna. I've sat in them before because they just feel amazing, but apparently it really speeds up the recovery time after you work out. So being that I just got a gym membership, and apparently our classes do legs every single day, and I can barely walk. I need to go sit in the sauna.
Speaking of legs, you're going to need some great legs for the golf course that they also have. I really like that you left that one for me. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Next up is Edgewater. I really like Edgewater because it looks like the front of a cruise ship if you look at it from the side. So I've actually had multiple clients comment the exact same thing, and now I can't get it out of my head. And
oh, wait. Hold on. If you want to cruise into one of these units, the price is going to be about $515,000 to $950,000. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm out of here. And just like the other 2 condos on our list, you can get a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom, and they're going to range anywhere from 1,000 square feet all the way up to about 1,500 square feet.
The HOAs are also going to differ according to the size, just like the other 2 communities, and these range anywhere from $700 to $900 a month.
The HOA fees include, of course, your beach access, which the property is located right on, so just a few steps away. All of the barbecue pits, picnic areas, the pools.
And it's also got exercise rooms and playgrounds, which are kind of like exercise rooms for kids. It's true. Look, I've been taking Sage to all these playgrounds I can find to get her wiggles out. It's like she's getting a little workout and then sleeps really well at night. It's kind of like when I go to the gym. I get a great workout in and then I sleep really great at night.
If you've made it this far, clearly you find some benefit in this video. So go ahead and hit that like button. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and then ding that little blue bell so that you'll be notified absolutely every single time we do a new video.
If you are curious about purchasing in the area and you want to know what are the first steps? What do we need to do? Well, the first step is getting in touch with us. So all of our contact information is on the screen. And after you've given us a call, you can go ahead and end the video and we'll see you at the next one.
See you guys.